Ladies and gentlemen, we are live from the Isle of Man in the UK. This is John and Mike's MMA Corner.
Valor Fights, which I believe is on Flow Combat's website to watch as well, have a bout on with Ashley Samples, and I have Ashley joining me. And Ashley, you're taking on one Shannon Goughary. I'm going to pronounce it that way, or Goughary, or yeah, well, it's all good. Shannon, we're going to call her Shannon. This fight is going to be on the Valor Cards fight. I like it when the women fight, simply because there's something about women's bouts that it's very rare, statistically, I find, that there's a dull women's bout. They somehow bring an aggression in the cage that I've seen more stinkers in the men's fights than I do with the women's. Women's just go for it. It's awesome. So you're obviously going to take on Shannon. You're ready to go full throttle at this, I imagine?
I am absolutely ready to take her on. I've been waiting to fight for another Valor title for 2 years now. They offered me a fight a couple years back. It was the state title and their title, and I lost that fight. It was my very first loss, and I've been waiting for this opportunity for a very long time, and I'm in a really good place, and I'm ready to take on the toughest, baddest girl to win that title and earn it.
Now, you are known as a entertaining fighter. That's the word I want to use. You're an entertaining fighter. Like I said, so when I talked about bringing it, you are that kind of fighter. So, have you, in the experience that you've had so far, with you've had a fair few fights under your belt now. You've got plenty of ring time. Have you started to learn to channel that kind of aggression to make it more landing the shots, not taking the shots? Have you started to eventually just, the more ring time, the more experience, the more knowledge, are you starting to use it so you can pick when your aggression is the most potent?
Yeah, absolutely. That's just, part of the progress that you make as you continue to learn and have new challenges and move up in your career. You actually learn the purpose for what you're doing and when it's appropriate to throw this punch and that kick and your movement. And that's something that Ace and I both pride ourselves on, is our movement. That's something that stands out. It's not just, a choreographed dance or some flashy thing that we do. There's a purpose to every little thing, whether it's a feint or an actual intended shot. There's a purpose for it, and I love, to study my opponent, use that first few minutes in the fight to figure out, how they're going to react, and then play. But at the same time, keeping it serious, keeping my game plan in action, and finish the fight as soon as possible. That's the goal. I don't want to leave the fight in anybody else's hands. I do want to get in there and finish. I don't want a boring fight. I'm not going to run from my opponent, but I definitely want to get in there and do it. But it's fun to be in the middle of an exchange, to study and know, oh my gosh, they just made a mistake. They do that again. I'm going to capitalize on it.
Yes, that's the thing. It's knowing, when it happens in the moment, having the fighter IQ to see it and may take advantage of it. Because I've seen plenty of fights where, let's just do a hypothetical situation where someone's thrown a leg kick, but they're not putting their opposing arm up to maybe cover their chin for a counter. Some guys don't take advantage of it. But let's look at the Rich Franklin and Kung Lee fight. Rich Franklin saw it the first time. The second time he dropped Kung Lee. Beautiful work. Was it Kung? Yeah, he dropped Kung Lee, didn't he? Beautiful work, beautiful technique. That is what it's all about. It's spotting these mistakes in a fighter's technique during the fight and analysing it. Is that just something you've taken on board with your coaches? They help you out, your training partners, and you see it in the fight when you're training, when you're sparring? You've been able to analyse fighters as well?
Yes, absolutely. That's what me and Ace do almost 24/7. Whether we're watching a fight on TV or we're studying, at the gym ourselves, we'll videotape ourselves, see where we're making mistakes. If he's sparring with somebody, I'm watching him. He's watching me. We look for those things. That's what we nitpick every single little thing. And honestly, we'll get onto why didn't you pick up on that? That was open. That was there. And individually, when I'm working, I'm looking for those openings. And if I'm not seeing anything, I'm trying to create them. I'm trying to make them do something or make them second guess themselves so that I can create that opening. And that's Ace's whole philosophy when it comes to fighting is this is an art. This is a science. It's not just who has a better, harder, faster punch. It's, strategy. And that's what I love about it is a lot of people don't think that. A lot of people, the spectators out there just, think it's just a dogfight. And it is about survival, and that's where a lot of the excitement is. But as far as the passion that comes into it is the hard work that's put months before. How hard did you train? What did you pay attention to? How good are your principles? That sort of thing. That's what makes you an artist, a martial artist.
Now, you heard the word Ace, ladies and gentlemen, mentioned a couple of times. Ace is also a fighter as well, like you said. Do you think the fact that the two of you being together, training together, the fact that you literally can just talk MMA, the fight game, let's say, 24/7, that's why you've got so much information in that head of yours already. That you're so analytic. You literally will break everything down because you're always working with each other in a sense of, did you see this? Did you see that? And you're just bouncing ideas off. And do you find that really is a key reason because the two of you just work and click?
Yes, absolutely. It's something, from the beginning, when I first met him, I didn't really know anything about the sport. I had watched a few UFC fights at the bar, but never, imagined myself doing this sort of thing. Joined for cardio purposes and to get in shape, and just watching his passion and his knowledge and just what he made of it made me fall in love with it, and it just became a second language to us, and we talk about it all the time, and I'm able to store it. I don't have the stats on every single fighter. I don't know every single form of art that's out there, but it's a learning experience, and every day, I learn something new, and it's exciting, and I just absorb it and just want to apply it to my own personal principles and unique technique.
Well, the fact that he turned you to MMA, he's a good man. Thank you. I tell you what, good idea. He's a top bloke for doing that, Ace. And you are definitely, no wonder he snapped you up. You're a keeper. That's what us blokes do. I tell you, if I found a woman. If I don't drink myself, but I was in a bar and I found a woman, I could convert a woman to the MMA. I'd be made up. I would. I wouldn't have to. Honestly, my girlfriend at the moment is UFC Fight Pass because I go, "What are you doing this weekend?" And I'll be like, "Oh, there's fight card on." Oh, right, okay. Well, I love my fights more than I love going on a date with someone. It's just. My girlfriend is the UFC Fight Pass. It takes care of me. It cuddles me and loves me. But I tell you, it's great the fact that you kind of you got his passion. You saw it, and it kind of engulfed in your heart, so to speak, this drive to compete in it. And that's great to hear. The fact that what he's done is rubbed off on you, and the two of you now are just kind of. You're almost like You're like your early days, Misha Tate and Brian Caraway.
I love it. Yeah. No, this has become I took his dream and made it my dream, and now it's our dream, and we have hit the road running, and we're not stopping until we've got every belt, everybody's eyes and attention, and more money than Conor McGregor. So.
Well, I'll tell you what. If this supposed Floyd Mayweather fight rumblings and talks goes any further, I think we'll all have a bit of trouble making that much money. Bloody hell, 30 million potential. Oh. And he can't even. Yeah. He'll get absolutely schooled as well. Well, he won't get schooled. All that'll happen is Floyd Mayweather will just dodge his punches for the whole time, and then he'll just get a decision. Look, your opponent Shannon, she again has got good experience as well. So you've got you've got a good tough opponent, perfect for you. She's got plenty of experience, so you're going against a girl who's going to really put you in a tough situation, let's say, because she's not going to be some fresh kid off the block. You must be quite excited about getting a fight like that when you get a girl who's got the experience to be able to kind of not match your experience, so to speak, but knows what she's doing in there.
Yes, absolutely. She is a tough girl. That's in the first 10 seconds of the first video I watched of her. I noticed she's an aggressive fighter. She's there to fight, and that's what I love. I can't stand when a chick, or any fight for that matter, signs up and gets in there and either wants to just push you up against the cage, or take you down and lay on top of you, or run from you the entire time. People pay to see the sport, and as much as, I have my own passion and stuff in it, like you said, I'm an explosive, exciting fighter, and I want to fight. I want to engage. I want to have a challenge that I can overcome and win and be victorious in, but I want to know that it wasn't just given to me. I want to work for it, and I don't want to chase you. I want somebody that wants to engage with me just as much as I want to engage with her. And I know she is a tough fighter. I know she's going to have her game face on. She's coming off of a loss less than a month ago, so she's going to have some emotions in there. You tend to make mistakes when you're emotional, but she's eager and hungry to win because she lost. So it's definitely going to be a fight, and that's what I'm excited about.
Now, yes, she did come off a loss. Now, you said obviously she is aggressive and a fighter. Knowing this, obviously, then that helps you for your game plan because you've been researching her. On your own personal assessment of yourself, you've got a few fights under your belt. You know what kind of fighter you are now. You know where your strength is. You know where your improvements are to be made. If you were to analyse yourself right now and give an honest opinion, you said, look, okay, I know I'm good at X, Y, Z, but I need to work on A, B, C. What would it be? And are you doing anything at the moment in particular to maybe spend a bit more time on those areas?
Yes, exactly. What you just said. I'm working on me. I have studied her. I have watched video. So has Ace and some of my teammates. So that they can be what they need to be as far as sparring partner goes. But I'm working on me. I'm working on the things that I'm good at, enhancing those, and I'm working on the things that need improvement. And so doing so, I'm just crisping up my own self. When I go in there, it's got to be my fight game plan. I don't want to give too much away as far as what I'm planning on doing or what I think she's going to do. I know she's aggressive and she's going to come forward. That's what I have to be prepared for, and that's what I'm counting on, but not to underestimate her or overestimate her. I also know that she's got some jiu-jitsu skills. She may try to take me down. A lot of girls have done that the second they find out who they're fighting. Regardless of how good they are on their feet, their game plan is usually take me down, because that's not my best area. Does that mean I don't know what I'm doing down there? No. It just means they know that their odds are probably on the mat. But what they don't know is, just because I don't have a belt that says, hey, I trained at this Gracie gym or whatnot, does not mean that I haven't been trained in that form of art for years now, and that's just not where I see the action, so I don't prefer to go there. But if I'm there, I'm 100% prepared to defend that and get back to my feet where I am 100% confident I can put her to sleep.
Now, the ground game. Okay, to get to the ground, though, you have to get taken down. Is the wrestling side is probably the more important key stage to nail then. If you can, because obviously if you're swinging, that's what's probably happening. You're probably, you see it all the time. People throw their hands when they start to get a bit over aggressive. Then the opponent will shoot under because they know what's going to be coming. Someone's going to be swinging. That's just it's a simple drill of working with your hips to make sure you thrust your hips to maybe to get make sure you get a sprawl nailed on your opponent. That's something I imagine then you're kind of focusing on so you can keep the fight standing, because if you can get that sprawl, all you have to do, stand back up yourself, bang, they have to get up and you're back to where you want to be. That's probably, even if it goes up against the cage and it's a failed double leg or even single leg, fighting for that underhook, get that whizzer, whatever, reverse them, get them up, get them back to the standing, turn them around and get back up again off the cage. Is that probably more of your focus, though, to make sure the fight stays standing?
Yes, and what's awesome is I've got personal coaches and just my teammates. They know that I want to be standing and I want to fight standing. It's so much that I will want to train offensively as far as jiu-jitsu goes and wrestling goes, but I end up focusing more on my defense, and that's just so that I can be where I'm comfortable and where I'm good at. but so much that, it gets to the point where nobody can submit me, nobody can take me down, because all I do is focus on my sprawls and my submission defense and getting back to my feet. I love it there. That's just where the action is, and that's where my passion is. But, I have to say this, I have yet to get a submission win. And I kind of want to get one of those under my belt. I've been thinking about that a lot lately. I'm not saying I'm going to take this girl down. It's not really my style to go for a takedown. But I will do anything and everything to win a fight. Anything necessary. I'm not the type of girl that wants to leave it in the judge's hands.
Yeah.
So she needs to be prepared for whatever is to come. Regardless of where I think I'm comfortable, I'm going to go where I know I can win. So...
Well, I was going to say, you've also got a little bit of a kind of stature to yourself with being the UMMAF 115-pound amateur national champion.
Yes.
Having that kind of, well, it is like a kind of title to your name where you kind of have a target then, because people think, right, well, if I'm fighting her and if I can get a win over her, that bodes well for me, gives someone a confidence boost. Do you feel like there's maybe a little bit more pressure now when you go into a fight because you have that? Obviously, that's something you aim for. You want to get these titles, these ranks, these names, whatever you can, because it's an accomplishment to show that you're doing well. But at the same time, then that kind of gives that bit more pressure on you. Do you feel a little bit of pressure from this?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think if you don't feel pressure, then one, you're not in the right sport, but two, you're not just taking it as serious as you need to. Everybody wants to get to that top spot, and once you're there, you're the one that has the most to lose. So yeah, you have to train harder. You have to train longer and sacrifice more and dedicate more. It's a very pressureful spot to be in, and I definitely do feel it. It's especially knowing that Worlds is right around the corner, and I just fought in the national tournament. If I were to fight this girl she's fought some legit girls. Ashley Greenway being one of them, and who's now in Invicta. She's a legit girl. I'm not at all doubting myself or my own confidence, but if I were to take a loss, what does that say? That is great for her, but what does that say about me, And I can't allow that to even happen or be more than just a split-second thought. It's in her position, it's great that she beat me. Me, not so much. But just like, you think Ronda Rousey, she was, how many times did she defend her belt? 9 times before she lost to Holly Holm. All those girls, they have the right to say, oh, well, I lost to her, but she's the best in the world. But if I lose, I'm like, no, that can't. It's just not even a possibility.
I'm not having it.
I can't even allow that.
Not having it. It's not allowed to happen. Not allowed to have that thought. Silly thought. Go away.
No. Like I said, I've also, not to put, Worlds or the national tournament down, but I'm putting a lot of value on this Valor title fight.
Absolutely.
I've let one of those slip through my fingers before, and I don't have any intentions of letting it happen again.
Well, with the Worlds, with the obviously happening in Vegas, etc., it's once a year. But with the Valor title, it's something that you can go in, defend. You can probably defend that title maybe up to 4 or 5 times before the next World Championships come. So, I agree with you there. The World Championships is like, it's like the essence. It's like a Super Bowl. It's like the World Cup in football or soccer. It doesn't come around all the time. It's like almost like kind of like Olympics. So it's something that you go for, you do. And if you get it, that's great. But at the same time, you've got to get your groundwork in, which is your regional scene. Getting on the shows and getting those fights and getting those titles, and that's what is super important. And of course, June 4th, Valor Fights 34, which again I believe it's going to be on Flow Combat website, which is run by some absolutely top gentlemen on there, and people can tune in. They can go on and you can subscribe. For the whole year, I believe, the whole package. They've got all sorts of stuff on there. Not just got Valor Fights, they've got, I think they've got wrestling and everything, like, not as in WWE wrestling, like proper wrestling, like NCAA kind of style wrestling. And actually, you're going to be having a fight against Shannon. It's going to be probably a super duper entertaining fight. Let's put it this way. But actually, before I let you go, I'd like you to well, obviously, I want to say thank you for giving me some of your time, but I'd like to give a shout out to your sponsors, if you have any sponsors, also your coaches, your teammates, maybe that you've been helping out in a particular sparring partners, bits and bobs like that. And also, before you do that, what's your social media so people can jump on, give you a follow and things like that?
Okay, you can find me at Ashley Samples on Facebook, Instagram. Me and Ace share an Instagram. It's Team Samples MMA, and then our Twitter is Team Samples 125, I believe. As far as thank yous and shout outs, I want to obviously thank my husband. He's my coach, my corner. He's my everything. He gets me through most days, every practice. He's always sitting in my corner. I couldn't do it without him. I wouldn't know anything about the sport, honestly, without him. And he keeps my passion alive and my fire burning. So thank you, Ace Samples, for that. My teammates at Barnett Taekwondo, you guys motivate me and push me harder every single day. You put me in some tough spots and make me get out of them, and that's what I need. I've got my ladies in the cardio classes that I instruct. You ladies are my rock, and y'all push me just as much as my teammates do, and I think that's absolutely awesome. Sponsors go. We have a brand new sponsor that just came on board, Master Basters Barbecue and Grill in our hometown. They have been so great. They just opened up, and they have just had our back financially and just emotionally, support, and whatever we need. They're there for us. Complete Nutrition, they always offer us the nutrition and supplements that we need. Any advice on diets and things like that, they're there for us. I've got jerseys, downtown bar. They always have our backs. They're pretty awesome. I've got Gutter Pro, Direct Paintless. Gosh, there's so many. I'm trying to think.
It's great. It's great that you got this support. It's fantastic.
Do what?
It's great that you've got all this support. It's really fantastic.
It's never ending. We've got the Game Changer, one of our best friends. He is just an amazing entrepreneur. He's constantly looking for ways to help us out. He's put on some softball tournaments for us to help us raise money for me to get out to nationals, and it's going to be doing the same thing for Worlds. I've got there's so many more. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah, it's fine. It's hard to remember them all. I catch people out all the time. But I tell you what, I have to admit, that is the best name I have heard for a sponsor yet. Your newest sponsor. That is
Master Basters.
Yes.
Make sure you specify.
I'm glad. When I first heard you say that, I kind of had to double check what you said in my head.
Yes, there's some controversy. We live in a small town, so there's the people, they either love it or they hate it, but they're really great people, and their food is amazing. Ribs fall off the bone. They've been open for about a month now. I've only been able to eat there once because I'm cutting weight. Good.
I was going to say, stay away from the ribs, you. You're meant to have the ribs. You're meant to have your ribs showing. But yeah, it's honestly, that's a great name for a sponsor. That's the best one I've had so far. Look, Ashley, have a great fight. Have a great weekend. Enjoy yourself at Valor Fights. I know Tim looks after anyone that comes on there and fights on the promotion. He's doing a great job. I love how things are working out for him over there. It's grown. Fingers crossed it won't be long till they're on Fight Pass as well, probably. So, look, enjoy your fight with Shannon. Thank you so much for your time, and have a great end to your fight camp.
Thank you so much. I enjoyed being on your show.